Salut tout le monde. Ok, non, c'est bon. Je suis désolé, je le dis direct pour la qualité audio. Je suis pas chez moi, j'ai pas mon micro, j'ai pas mon casque. Je vais essayer de pas trop crier. J'essaie un nouveau type de contenu. Je vais réagir au nouveau trailer de Into the Light là sur Destiny 2 parce que j'aime bien regarder des youtubeurs connus genre Sweat Cycle, Cross, tout ça réagir au trailer et j'en trouve pas beaucoup des réactions françaises, donc je me dis je vais tester. On verra bien si ça me rapporte des vues et des abonnés, sinon c'est pas grave, je continuerai de le faire, j'en ai rien à foutre. Donc c'est parti. Ah oui, j'ai oublié de dire, je suis sur mon téléphone parce que j'ai pas mon PC. Je pensais que ça commençait direct. Je vais essayer un tout petit peu le son parce que
All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome here to beautiful Bungie HQ in scenic Bellevue, Washington. My name's Andy, and I'm going to be your host today. And today we have the distinct opportunity to go ahead and show off some brand new stuff coming in Destiny 2 Into the Light. But fret not, I won't be the only one going ahead and telling you about it. I'm joined by three members of the Destiny development team who we'll go ahead and introduce here right away. Starting directly to my left, Mr. Tom Farnsworth. How are you doing today?
Great, thank you, Andy. I am doing great. I had coffee, breakfast on the way here. I'm a little ready to go. Excited to share
j'en reconnais aucun.
all the great work the team has done
Et puis j'ai déjà vu, mais je les reconnais pas.
And just for context about me, I'm the creative lead on Into the Light, and I'll be here with you the next few weeks to talk about it.
Looking forward to it. Yeah, we've got a lot of fun stuff in store. And of course, we're joined by senior narrative designer, Mr. Jerome Viernich. How you doing today, sir?
I'm doing great. Also had coffee
Nice.
on the highway while screaming at passing cars.
Quite a drive in as well. And for the folks at home who may not know you as well as we've had the opportunity to learn about you over the past couple days, who are you and what do you do here at Bungie?
I am a senior narrative designer, which means
Oui,
if
je suis en train de se
you hear a
présenter là,
character
c'est
say
pas très
it, or
important.
if you read it on screen, one of us typed it into a tiny little box at
Exciting.
some point months before.
Hanging out with Excel lots these days? or-
Absolutely.
There it is.
Tiny
yeah.
words, tiny boxes. That's me.
It's an important tool, obviously.
Absolutely.
And of course, last but very not least, one of the most deadly I've ever seen to rock the thumbsticks, especially in these past couple days, the one and only Mr. Noah Lee, activity designer here on Destiny 2.
Hey everyone, my name is Noah Lee. I'm an
connais
activity
pas.
designer on Destiny 2 Into the Light. And I have the
Ils ont
distinct
fait
pleasure
le
of
même
introducing us
move.
to Onslaught so we can see all the really cool things that we have in store. I'm a long-time player. I've been playing since Destiny 1, and as a player turned dev, I'm excited to show off all the stuff we have planned. I'm just so excited to see what's
Awesome. Well, hey, welcome. You guys, thank you so much for taking time to join us. To everyone in chat, I see a lot of activity in there as well. Thank you very much for taking the time to join us today as well. But yes, today we're going to go ahead and kick things off by looking at Onslaught, which is a brand new activity coming in Destiny 2 Into the Light. For those of you out there that are Twit enjoyers that had a chance to go ahead and see what we've been posting the last week,
Donc, la
we
nouvelle
went ahead and
activité
released
s'appelle
some
Onslaught.
key art last week
Je n'ai
that
pas
is
la
now up
traduction
on
en
screen.
français,
You can
mais
see here.
Onslaught.
There's a lot going on here. So let's go ahead and just start. Tom, can you tell us a little bit about what Onslaught is?
Yeah, so Onslaught is a new three-player activity that's kind of the core of Into the Light. It's available to all players.
Yeah.
And you can kind of see in this key art, like this is like a kind of aspirational view of what
C'est
Onslaught
disponible pour
is
tout le
in-game.
monde, du coup, forcément c'est
It's a
gratuit.
new wave defense activity. It takes
C'est un
inspiration
système
from
de
a lot
vagues.
of modes we've looked at, like in other games and our games throughout our kind of history. And you can see here, you're
Et ils ont dit qu'ils
in the
prenaient
last
des
city.
inspirations
And I'm really excited that
d'autres
other
jeux, donc à
players
mon
are
avis
gonna be
ça
able
va
to,
être un peu comme
the
le mode
Guardians are gonna be able
Forge.
to hop into this space
Comment ça s'appelait?
and
Sur Halo
defend the
Reach, là,
last
où il y
city
avait
and
des vagues d'ennemis.
eventually take the fight to the Witnesses forces here. And you can kind of
Et
see
donc il y a un assaut dans les
like you got our three Guardians. They're kind of ringed in defenses.
Yeah.
You also got like the pyramids in the sky.
Right, yeah.
And there's even some like kind of pyramid terraforming going on in the background
In
there.
the city itself, too, yeah.
Yeah,
They are at
in
our
the city,
doorstep.
and there's a few other locations too, but maybe we'll talk about later.
Talk about that later.
Yeah.
So also too,
Je sais pas si on va avoir
Jerome,
des
we
trailers.
are. This is not the first time obviously we've ever had to go ahead and defend ourselves on our own turf, but never quite like this before. Our heels are dug in. We're in the last city right now. Can you tell us a little bit more about what's going on here?
Absolutely. So for the past several seasons, the forces of the Witness have been closing their vice grip around the Sol system. The Witness is inside the Traveler doing nefarious deeds, enacting the final shape.
Right.
Time is on its side.
Yeah.
We have worked with ancient magics, esoteric rituals, bargaining with our old foes in order to send someone through the portal
Voilà, il est en
and
train de faire un
establish a
résumé
bridge, and
des
we
anciennes
chose
décisions
Crow.
là.
Yeah.
Now, until he makes contact with us, we are back at home sharpening our knives.
Yeah.
Now, the Witness, of course, will do everything that it can to keep us on this side of the portal.
Understand.
Which means unleashing every bit of its resources, every part of its power against us to keep us pinned in
Yeah.
the last city. So this is about breaking out and discovering
il envoie
new
toutes
power,
Yeah.
right? Sharpening ourselves,
Yeah.
finalizing our builds, and getting some new toys so that we can face down the Witness.
That's
Il a
right.
dit
We're also getting
découvrir de
some
nouveaux
help
pouvoirs,
from a
hein.
tried and true sharpener of Guardians as well. Shax is going to be helping us out as well, right?
Absolutely. Where
Shax va
some
nous
see
aider.
calamity, Shax sees opportunity.
Yeah.
And he is going to be opening up his arsenal for us to enjoy. I think we'll hear
Shax
about
va
that
ouvrir
next week,
son-
right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Non,
And yeah, he'll be your vendor, and I'm really excited for players to hear from him.
Awesome. As someone who spends a lot of time in the Crucible, so
Oh,
it's
putain,
good to
ce
spend
qu'il
more
va
time with
avoir.
Shax. Inspirational to say the least.
Absolutely, at high volume.
Yeah, honestly, that's
Ah, mais
the
je suis
best part
con.
of him.
Ça veut dire
Just throw more
Opus,
grenades.
Sommet,
Reminder to
tout
everyone.
ça.
Never go wrong.
May it be a hint to us all. And of course, Noah, there's a lot also too going on here. I see turrets, I see other activity defenses. Obviously, we're going to jump into some gameplay here, but before we do, can you tell us a
On va
little
voir
bit
du gameplay.
about what we're going to see when we dive in to play some Onslaught here live in just a bit?
Yeah, of course. So something that's really cool about Onslaught compared to a lot of our activities in Destiny is, like Tom said, it's not an offensive, it's a defensive. Our goal is to defend the ADU or
Yeah.
advanced defense
Super.
unit,
C'est
which
haut.
allows us to build our defenses like turrets, tripwires, decoys, and the main goal is to make sure that that thing stays up for all of your waves that you're fighting in.
Yeah.
And if that goes
On va
down
mettre
at
en place
any
des
point,
pièges et tout,
regardless if you're
apparemment.
on playlist, normal, or on legend difficulty, your game will end. So the main goal is to keep your defenses safe, build them up, upgrade them, and try to get as far as you can.
Yeah, legend difficulty. Interesting. Already dropping some hints. I like what I'm hearing.
You know, I had to do it. And another thing, just really quickly,
Yeah,
is we
please.
had a lot of learnings from some of our activities in the seasons, like deep dives and the coil, where we know players like when we escalate difficulty over time.
Yeah.
So that's a key feature of Onslaught. You go from wave 1 to wave 50, each one,
Ah, ça va
each
être un
10,
peu comme le
escalating
protocole
in difficulty as
d'intensification,
we're
ça va
going through
augmenter
gameplay.
en-
And that serves a
difficulté,
really cool
euh,
opportunity for players
chaque
to
vague.
test their builds
Yeah.
and, you know, the
Et
wave of
franchement, je suis
enemies that we're
optimiste, je
fighting
sens
against
bien,
are
là,
the
cette
whetstone
mise à
by
jour.
which we are sharpening ourselves.
Excellent. Yes, build crafters, you're on notice. Be prepared for what's to come. All right, well, I say there's no time like the present. We are seeing a lot of requests in chat for gameplay. I think we can go ahead and dive on in.
The throne world.
Noah, would you mind returning to your throne world briefly to go ahead and kick things off here?
My tithes.
Obviously, yeah, we got to get some tithes for the man himself. In the meantime, really quickly, obviously with Onslaught being a brand new activity, we're going to kick things off in a very different way. Can you tell us a little bit about what we're going to see when we go ahead and start things off?
Yeah, you're going to see it in the gameplay here in just a second, but Onslaught is about kind of establishing a defensive kind of like beachhead in these contested territories where we're like trying to claw space back from the Witness.
Certainly.
And we're going to see it in Midtown here in a moment. And so players start off with you and two other maybe friends you found that you play with all the time, or maybe
Yeah.
you matchmake you in with, and you're going to push forwards with Shax's Red Jacks that
Yeah.
you're going to see here. You'll establish a defensive area. You'll deploy the advanced defense unit, and you'll start placing defenses.
Yeah.
As Noah said, there's turrets, there's trip mines, there's
Yeah.
decoys.
Decoys.
The decoys.
Et on
is
va
our
mettre des
favorite
leurres,
little
des
sweet
That's
spot.
tourelles, des
Yep.
mines.
And
Back to help once again.
and you can upgrade those too. Like
Yeah.
the way the activity
On
works
peut
is you
les
defeat
améliorer.
enemies to collect scrap,
Yeah.
which is our currency, and
va
then
être
you
un
can
peu comme le
spend
mode
that
zombie
to deploy
de
these
Call of.
defenses. And you're gonna have to be kind of
tue des
selective.
ennemis,
Like
au lieu
each of
d'obtenir
these
de l'argent, on va
defensive
obtenir
locations
du
can move
métal.
around throughout the activity.
Et avec ce
Yeah,
métal, on va
um,
pouvoir améliorer nos défenses.
And here we go.
Oh, awesome.
We already got
This is
some
gameplay
action
already.
here.
Yes.
So we're over here trying to create a foothold for our ADU, supported by Shax's lovely Red Jacks. You know, we know and love them.
Oh, yeah.
And as soon as we cleared out the Elixir that are here, or the Fallen, our ADU is here. As we see, we got some batteries in tow, and this begins
Le revolver
our
de
first really interesting
Calus.
part of this activity, which is our purchase phase. Killing
Le coup de
enemies
minuit.
will grant you
Le dernier
scrap,
coup.
like we see in the top left, and we have 30 seconds to pick one of a suite of
contre,
upgrades.
c'est
We
une
have
map
tripwires
PVP.
you can buy for 1,000.
Ah, non.
Decoy, which is our lovely sweeper bot here, and turrets. I know people
Ok,
are very
ça, c'est
curious
les
about
tourelles et
turrets, so I'm
tout.
just going to buy this first.
There we go.
But we have
Putain, ils ont remis
our
des armes
lovely
du
guests,
Léviathan, mais du
Clayton
coup, le raid
and
revient.
Ashley, who have helped create this activity in our
Pardon,
playtest
j'ai peut-être crié
team.
un peu,
They're
j'ai
with
oublié
me
que le
helping
son
fill out
était,
the fire team. And they're building their defenses.
It's always best to have some solid teammates. And also, too, for the folks in chat noticing some weapons, go ahead and just go ahead and observe everything you can possibly see on screen. Oh, it's okay. We're going to have plenty of time to dig through those inventory screens. But in the meantime, yeah, chat is connecting some dots with the things they may have seen in the key art. But also, too, so Jerome, we're here obviously doing this for a reason, right? The ADU is here for a purpose. Can you help us understand a little bit about the role that plays in the defense that we're mounting against the Witness?
Absolutely. When all of the Guardians and their allies enter the portal to face down the Witness, Earth will be essentially undefended.
Yeah.
So it's important that we establish solid defenses now and claw back as much territory as we can in advance of our assault. I also want to just point out, I know we're not going to be able to look at it, and we'll see the weapons next week, but we've got beautiful new lore on those weapons, and so any of those lore hounds, make sure you check out those tabs.
Yeah, it's we will be only maybe looking at whatever happens to show up on the stream today, but yes, this is the Brave Arsenal, as it will be known. Players will get a chance to go ahead and be more extensively involved with this. We'll have more information on that in the coming weeks, but yeah, for those out there that are observing maybe some previous Guardian favorite weapons out there, worry not. You'll have lots of information to learn over the next coming weeks.
But yeah, I want to kind of get started on kind of what players have been seeing as a whole. As we're able to see,
the
ADU has a health over its head right here, and we have enemies in waves coming to try to defeat it. If you've been paying attention, we have high-value targets that are mini-bosses or elites called saboteurs, which drop these repair batteries. And for other attempted players, we can see that there are champions involved. So, you know, bring your champion weapons. Make sure that you are well equipped for this. We have different waves and different augments like we're seeing on Wave 3 that demand your immediate attention.
Si, voilà, c'est une map
We know
PvP
Destiny
fusionnée
players like
avec
to run and gun, so we try to get you out of the space of the ADU sometimes so that you can kind of do those objectives to make sure that,
bon, après c'est gratuit, donc forcément ils se sont pas trop cassés le cul, mais on peut pas leur en vouloir.
Crucible enjoyers know the space pretty well. It'll be a chance for everyone to go ahead and check it out. But also, too, actually, no, thank you, Noah, for checking that out. Obviously, the Pyramids have been busy in here helping to go ahead and mount this offensive.
Yeah, I think we have an eye for decoration.
Yeah, honestly, they're doing a great job. I got to give them credit. They keep it consistent. But Jerome, these are pyramid ships in our own backyard that are going to go ahead and just try and terraform the city. Or can you help us learn what's going on here?
Well, they don't have to do anything. I mean, the Witness is doing what it wants to do, and if we don't stop it, then it's game over. So they really just need to keep us pinned. The Witness is inevitable. There's no way we could defeat every one of the Witness's soldiers.
Right.
There's no way we could, you know, fight them one by one.
We'll try.
We have to deal with the Witness head on inside the Traveler.
Yeah.
Il va pas être aussi méta que ce qu'il avait pu être jusqu'à Renegade.
And send players away from the ADU is pretty significant when it comes to accomplishing all of the tasks
Les
in front of
sont
you
bien,
here
mais
in Onslaught. But Tom, can you tell us a little bit about the defenses as well? I think we see some trip mines up already, set and ready to go.
Et il y a la Nasty des bêtes,
You
là,
can see the horizontal beams, those are trip mines. As you upgrade them, the colors will change. You'll be able to do more damage and kind of fire off more
charges.
Comment il s'appelle déjà en français? Bref, le sunshot, le revolver dans 150 exotiques.
Really nice.
Et un revolver en principal, je sais pas si ça va être vraiment super bien. Il va vraiment falloir qu'il ait de très bonnes perfs.
When you can upgrade those three levels as well, they change color, they deal more damage, they get more health.
Yeah, the fire rate increases actually also.
Yep, and then we've also got Sweepy Bot, who also, those decoys, mostly just gain health and change color a little bit. But the idea here is like each of these defensive locations, we're going to kind of randomly pick defenses for you to deploy, and it's up to you kind of to make the best choices and use your limited resources, the scrap that you're collecting, to make the best choices there, because you're not going to have all the currency you need right off the bat to, like, you know, of course, deploy everything and upgrade everything. You're going to have to be like, no, we want this.
J'écoute pas trop ce qu'ils disent parce que je suis absorbé par le gameplay et je parle par-dessus.
Right, yeah. Let's focus our attention and abilities maybe in a different direction. Let the trip mines and turrets do some work in a different direction.
Something I want to bring up is we actually have a bonus objective going on right now. We have secondary objectives that occasionally appear in waves, and this one is just to complete the wave within a certain amount of time. And if you complete that while you're defending the ADU, you got to make sure that's alive. You'll actually get a reward, which is a heavy ammo crate that will refill your ammo. When you get higher up in the waves and you get more difficult enemies and like larger waves of stuff, like that is definitely something you're going to be trying to get. And that kind of ties into the team coordination you can do. Like if you have a good team in the higher difficulties, you're going to need a little bit more coordination. You might need somebody to go out and do the augments and somebody to go out and do the critical objectives.
Yeah, and also too, so just to make sure Tom as well, this isn't the only ADU we're going to be defending
j'ai pas
in this
encore trop
activity. It moves
d'abonnés,
around the
donc ça
map.
sert à rien que je vous le
So,
dise comme
as
ça.
Noah said
Mais
earlier, there's
si
50
vous tombez
waves
sur cette vidéo et que vous regardez
are
encore,
challenge version of this activity.
Okay.
So
tout ça, je le ferai
there's a
en
playlist
live.
version, which
Oh.
is just one location. It's easy,
Oh,
quick,
dans le
fun
vaisseau
to hop
pyramide.
into. You do 10 waves and you're done. And then there's the challenge version, which we're showing here.
Il
so
a-
there's
il a
50
l'air d'avoir
waves
déjà
or 5
Vélu
sets of
ou
10
Luciole.
waves.
Yes.
Is how
Comme
we
la
like to
nuit,
talk
parce qu'il a
about
fait un
it.
frag de précision, ça
And,
fait des trucs solaires.
with each of those sets
Mais du coup, je
of
voulais
waves,
dire,
we move
tout ça, je
around
le
the
ferai
map
en
between
live.
different locations.
Okay.
Sur ma chaîne
So
Twitch, donc
you'll
n'hésitez pas à
start
aller
at
faire
one
un tour.
ADU, you'll
Et,
defend it, you'll take the
Et
fight to
même
the
si vous
witness for a
ratez le
little
live ou
bit,
quoi,
you'll
et
back,
que vous êtes
and then
intéressé par
you'll
d'autres
build up
contenus
your defense more, and
Destiny
then
que je
go
fais,
fight
je vais
the
essayer de
boss.
faire du
Which
contenu
is
un peu
what
plus,
we're
on va dire,
seeing as well right now. Like we're on board of Pyramid
un peu
Ship
plus
now, right?
professionnel
this,
sur
is,
Destiny.
this is one of my favorite phases.
Et
Where
pas
instead
simplement genre
of defending the ADU, we take the fight
l'histoire
to them,
du
and
jeu.
as you see, we cultivate a spark of light, and it's
Donc
time
tout
to
ça,
run
je
it
le
down,
posterai sur YouTube.
destroy the witnesses, lieutenants,
Donc
and
n'hésitez
you know,
pas
do a fun
forcément à vous
backflip.
abonner,
Let's
mais à
hope I
vous
can
en
pull that
souvenir.
off.
Do the backflip.
Et si
It's
ça vous
important.
plaît,
If you don't do the
abonnez-vous par la
backflip,
suite. De
chat's
toute
gonna
façon,
be very
vous
upset. I
pouvez
can
toujours
already
vous
tell.
désabonner
There.
plus tard si,
Here we go.
Look at that.
Here we go.
si ma chaîne vous plaît plus. Ou si
You
vous
make it look
changez
so
d'avis.
easy, Noah.
Because I'm just good.
He is good. He's doing pretty well. I'm not gonna
We're also on the first set of waves. So.
It's going to get a little spicier later. The
Yeah.
first few waves are you know, they're kind of like the training wheels.
Right, yeah, because you were saying too, there's a 10-wave version of this and a 50, was it?
Yes, there's a 10-wave version
That's
called
right.
Onslaught Playlist.
Okay.
You know, if you're in for, you want to be in for a short session, I
Ok,
think
donc
that's
il y aura
definitely the
deux-
place for you.
Deux
Onslaught,
types
in our experience
de,
with
un peu comme
playtesting,
le The
it's
Coil
really
et
easy to lose track of
repère de
time
Riven.
and just kind of
Soit
keep going.
en fait on va faire
you
une
can always be
manche,
like, you
il
know,
y aura
just
que
one
10
more
vagues.
wave, a few more, you know,
Soit
a
on
few more
fait une
sets,
manche,
and then
il y
you're
aura
like, dang, it's been an
50
hour.
vagues.
Like, it's actually crazy.
Noah, I got a question, if you don't mind. How do you decide whether to unlock new defenses or upgrade the ones you've already got?
So it really is a risk-reward thing. As we're seeing, like, when you upgrade defenses, they will exponentially increase in price, which means that you have to make a decision every purchase phase, like, do I want to save my money to potentially upgrade something down the line, and also hope that that defense, you know,
À
lives
chaque- à
long
chaque
enough to be
manche,
upgraded? Or
Et
am I just going to
qu'on
bite the
améliore
bullet
nos
and
défenses, les
buy
défenses elles vont
something now
augmenter en
that can
coût,
help me
bon, ça c'est
immediately?
logique.
My strategy usually is that in the first few waves, I will not buy anything to like just save up for later, and usually my teammates will do something.
Yeah.
That's where communication comes in. If you just do that by yourself, I don't think your teammates will be very happy with you.
Je pense que ça va vraiment
As
plaire à beaucoup
always,
de monde
keeping the
comme
comms
activité.
crisp is very important,
Parce que
especially to
oui,
get
ça
those
peut
higher
devenir
difficulty
répétitif.
levels.
Oui, les maps, c'est
Because yeah,
peut-être
we're
des
just
maps
in the kind
PVP
of
ou
the
du contenu
fledgling
recyclé.
waves of this right now.
Mais
But yeah, when we were doing
je
our playtest
pense
yesterday, things got
qu'ils vont
crazy in a
vraiment voir
hurry. I
ça
hope
comme
we
du
get to
protocole
see,
d'intensification. Et
similar
à mon
craziness we
avis,
saw yesterday, but I don't wanna
course.
spoil
si
anything
les
for chat.
récompenses
Obviously,
c'est
there's plenty
l'arsenal de
to be
Shax,
discovered in this.
Something I neglected to
je
mention,
pense que
which
ce
we've
serait
been
comme
doing
ça
that
qu'on
whole
obtient
time,
la
is
recluse et tout s'ils les ont fait
the
revenir, ce qui
ADU
passe que sûr,
batteries
je
will
pense.
actually heal it,
De toute
kind of
façon, on verra
similar to
certainement
like
plus
Force
tard.
in the Black Armory from my real vets
Donc,
out there.
je pense
And
que
the
ça va plaire à
ADU,
beaucoup de monde.
the
Parce que
enemies
le
are
protocole,
naturally
ça avait plu à
compelled to
beaucoup de
come
monde.
over here
Notamment
and
moi,
like
j'avais
attack
adoré.
it. They'll shoot it, they'll knife at it. But also, if there's any enemies that stay in the radius of the ADU, you'll see it'll turn red and damage will start to tick. So that's when you need to throw your ADU batteries in there and you'll get scrap for that. But if your ADU's full on health, you'll actually get 3 times the amount of scrap. So it's in your best interest to try to keep it as healthy as
D'accord,
possible.
donc en
because you
fait,
might be
quand on
able to
tue les
snowball
ennemis,
your
on
defenses.
a des boules
Interesting.
là.
So especially if you're really
Les
pushing
boules,
for
faut les
those,
jeter
those
au milieu.
later levels and
Et c'est
then
ce
like
qui nous
the
donne
40s and
du
50s.
truc pour
Maybe it
améliorer
just
nos
behooves you to hold on.
défenses.
Oh yeah, and
Levels are
50.
so
Et
let
il y a
your
un
abilities and
cercle
weapons
autour
do
de la
the talking
batterie
for
au
a little
milieu.
bit.
Si les ennemis rentrent dedans, ça va devenir jaune et ça va faire des dégâts à la batterie.
There we go. We
Donc
got
si
one
la
of the bigger
batterie
mobs
prend
on
trop
the
de
way.
dégâts, je sais
Yeah,
pas ce qu'on
here's
a
one of
perdu.
our augments, just demolitionists. We get these huge ultras that come in
Ouais,
and
bon, ça,
just
ok.
they're beeline for
Et,
the ADU.
Yeah.
Since we're on the first
Et
wave, they're
ensuite,
not
si
that
on dépose
difficult, but I
du-
promise you,
donc
wave
nos
40,
boules,
wave 50, these guys
sans
are
jeu de mots,
tanky. They
au
require
milieu,
a lot of
quand elle est
attention.
full vie, la
And,
batterie,
Credit in making it look easy as well.
on obtiendra
yeah,
plus
like I
d'argent
said, you know,
pour
I'm just that
améliorer.
guy.
He's been preparing for this moment. Also, too, actually, let's talk a little bit of build crafting. What are you
À chaque
running
fois, j'arrive
right
pas à
now?
voir,
Noah?
So I'm not, I'm not treading new ground here. I'm a Night Stalker by heart. I got my Gerfalcons on. We actually, off screen, we're figuring out how it's pronounced. But Gerfalcons, everyone, so anyone who mispronounces it, that's how you say it. Doing that, I love Berry Bloodline. It's a great weapon from
Ouais, il est
Warlord's
pas mal,
Ruin. I love
son-
Catalyst.
Sans
You know, I'm just doing
revolver,
that
enfin son
because
pistolet en vrai.
we might see some
C'est
tormentors. You know, who knows? And
Ah, il y
I
aura
like
peut-être des
precision
tourmenteurs
when
apparemment.
we're doing that because you
Dans
know
l'activité.
rockets aren't very effective against.
See, over the past
Et je
day
disais
or
oui,
so, as I've been getting prepared for the stream, I'll
la
admit
ligne
my
enterrée là,
jealousy for Buried
le
Bloodline has
pistolet
only been
de...
growing. I'm a big fan of Graviton Lance. We get along very well.
Ouais.
But I
Le
gotta say, the
pistolet
precision
du
that you've been getting out of Buried
ruine de la
Bloodline
guerrière,
makes me
c'est le seul qui manque
upset that I
avec la
haven't
11 de
just gone ahead and
méchanceté.
buckled down and gotten the farming done to get that thing unlocked, honestly.
Yeah, great. So as we see, we are actually in the pyramid again for the boss. We're taking the fight back to the Witness's forces.
Okay,
And
donc
this
ils ont
brings
fait
up a really
dimanche.
interesting part of all of the boss phases where instead of having immune shields or immune phases,
Ah, ils ont
we
quand même
have
changé les
different
designs des
augmentations
boss.
that allow you to
Bon, je crois que c'est le
increase
design
your
du
effectiveness
boss
against the
de
boss. So for example, this one is
Étreinte
augmentation
de
well,
l'avarice,
stand in
le
these
donjon.
wells and defeat high value
Mais ça
targets.
fait toujours plaisir de
You will
voir des
actually deal
looks un peu
increased
différents.
damage to the boss for the rest of the fight. That's something because these are meant to be kind of like victory laps, like you
Utilise la
survive
batteuse,
against
je veux
ADU and
avoir
it's
la
time to just
confirmation
you
que-
single-mindedly take down the boss.
Yeah. Interesting. Also, too, actually, really quickly, Tom. So I know we touched on there being
Oh
10
non,
and
j'y
50
ai
wave
cru.
versions, but we got a question in chat from Tirkinator.
J'ai cru que c'était le
Is
Hammerhead,
it random
mais non, ça
matchmaking?
n'était
Do you
pas.
get to bring your own fire team in? Both?
So playlist is random matchmaking, or you can bring your
Oh,
fire team
ta
in.
gueule.
Yeah.
And then I believe the challenge modes, of which there was a normal version and like a hard version, which goes
Yeah.
up to GM. I believe that the normal version is match made. We can correct on socials maybe for the second one. I don't think it's match made.
Je pense qu'on va se régaler avec mon clan sur cette activité.
Cool. Awesome. Yeah, obviously. And honestly, too, it never hurts to bring in your own GM crew if you're pushing 50 waves.
No, we definitely want you to communicate
Yeah.
in that activity.
J'espère
on
que
the-
c'est
on
pas
the
que
upper
cette
end,
map, parce que
especially, you're going to have a much
Ils avaient
better
dit ouais
time.
dans la
Yeah,
dernière
honestly.
cité.
Also,
tout
too, actually,
ça.
while we're kind of on that
C'est
subject,
que
I
la
remember
mode
something you
PVP.
mentioning earlier was, kind of
pense
one of
qu'il y a
the
beaucoup de
goals,
gens
I
qui
think,
vont
from a
être
design
déçus
standpoint you were mentioning was
et
that
ils vont
it's
pas
kind of just
vouloir
easy
revenir.
to get lost in this activity. The combat sandbox that
pourtant, c'est
Destiny
dommage,
has,
parce
sometimes you
que
just want to
ces
throw down
gens-là,
and just test new
la-
builds, go crazy, and this is something that really
en fait,
seems to facilitate that.
Yeah, you might
Cette
even feel
année,
it on the stream here as we're going to
apparemment,
go
ça a
deeper
été
and
une
deeper
des
here.
pires
Like
de
we're
Destiny.
we've defeated the first
Moi, je
set
suis pas
now.
d'accord. Je me
We're on the
suis
second set.
énormément amusé sur
We're
Destiny.
like, we're at a
Lightfall, j'ai
new
beaucoup aimé la
defense
campagne.
location. You can see
Oui, ça
here, that's
pourrait
the
être
river
mieux.
walk
Mais je me
in
suis régalé.
here, and
C'était
like yeah, it's
super drôle,
Wall,
super
we,
amusant. Moi, j'ai
We're
adoré.
developers, so we
Les
were
saisons,
able
à
to
part
change
la
it to our
première
other
qui est sortie en même
faction.
temps que
It's not
Lightfall,
always going to be Fallen.
je les ai
We have
toutes aimées,
Hive that were
c'était
shown
tout génial.
prominently in our poster art.
Oh, that's
Et
right.
les
Yeah,
gens
for
n'ont
the more
pas eu
keen
ce
eyes at
sentiment,
home, they may
donc
have
je sais
noticed
pas
that
si c'est
behind the
que
scenes, the faction
les
has
gens,
changed. So when Jerome mentioned it earlier, every
maintenant,
single one of the
beaucoup
armies
trop
at
exigeants.
the Witness's behest is going to
Si
go ahead and be a part of this fight
je
potentially.
sais pas.
Or which
Ou
ones
si
are
c'est
they,
peut-être
rather?
genre
Or
juste
if you
un
don't mind me
sentiment
asking, I should
de
say.
vouloir
This
tout
is your...
détester et tout
Yeah,
critiquer.
we've got
Voilà.
Fallen
Je sais pas.
and Hive
Mais moi,
are
j'ai
going to be
j'ai beaucoup aimé. Et ça, même si c'est
pressing
des
the
maps
last city,
reprises et que
but
c'est dommage,
the Taken are
je
definitely
trouve ça génial.
uh,
C'est trop bien.
active elsewhere.
Comme
They're sort
mode
of
de jeu.
they're being marshaled for other purposes,
Interesting.
which I won't.
Other elements of the
won't mention.
seasonal story are yet to be revealed. We'll let that obviously uncover itself as time
percolate.
goes on naturally. Yeah, there's plenty for the lore hounds out there to go ahead and discover. Jerome, when you're putting together a story like this, obviously kind of helping us realize what the Witness's mission is, like what was kind of some of your inspiration as you kind of looked at this activity and the opportunity it presented to the narrative team?
We always start with the characters, like the emotions of the characters, from their perspective, how they would see things, how they would react.
Certainly.
And so that's what made Shaxx a natural fit for this. It's such a gear-focused activity. It's so ferocious. We needed a voice that matched that level of intensity.
Yeah.
And so that's where we came up with Shaxx.
yeah, Shaxx is like the perfect hype man
Honestly.
for this, right?
It's so great when you get later in the rounds and he just kind of makes you feel like you can keep going.
I mean, that's his goal, right? The Crucible is not a forgiving place, and he's there bringing folks in every single day that he possibly can. So
He's been
it makes
preparing us for this. That's what the
Yeah.
Crucible was for.
No, and that's a great way to look at this. The Crucible is preparing, fighting other Guardians to sharpen ourselves to fight a war. And this is just fighting a war.
sense. Yeah, honestly, this is what we've been sharpening ourselves for. This is that moment. Also, too, kind of in that theme, we got a question from Cozy Spartan in chat. Are there any other weapons that are coming back? As a quick reminder, this is the first of actually three streams as well. So next week we're going to be talking about that. So make sure and mark your calendar and tune in then. Today, this is just a taste of Onslaught and kind of a first look at what's to come in the brand new activity, joining
là où on
us with
verra
Destiny 2 Into the Light.
les armes qui reviennent et tout, parce que là, ils ont
Scrap
juste
already?
montré le coup de
I bought
minuit.
one thing.
Ce sera le prochain
I
live.
suppose I spent it all on these two turrets, which have been
C'est dommage.
performing pretty well, actually.
Après, c'est normal.
I'm a person, I prefer to upgrade a few things because their effectiveness is much more heightened when you upgrade it. So I feel like if you all pool your resources to make a few traps really good, that might serve you well. But you know, who knows? I know when you do legendary and you're in GM, you're really going to need those defenses to help you out because those enemies are powerful and they are focusing down your ADU unrelentingly.
Yeah. All right, so we've touched on there are 3 different defensive tools at our disposal between the turrets, the trip mines, and obviously the decoy sweet bot. And those are upgradable, if I remember correctly?
Yes.
Correct.
Cool. How far do those go? Like what level? It'll be 3? 3? Awesome. And as I understand it too, there's a pretty steep progression as
monter
they go ahead and
à
continue leveling up.
jusqu'au
That
niveau 3
scrap
par
really
mois
ends
de
up being
défense.
worth it.
They become more expensive, but yeah, they also like, it's not like a linear progression, it's more logarithmic. They kind of jump up in power.
Yeah.
But you got to keep them safe too, right? The enemies, like you might get an augmentation where like one of those big knights or big fallen captains comes in and just smashes them.
Yeah.
And so you definitely want to try to keep the space clear.
Yeah, a brig drops in from low orbit and
That
just
happens.
smashes it into bits.
Yeah.
It's been known to happen. Who knows?
Now, in that instance, if one of your defenses is destroyed, do you repurchase it at level 1?
Yes, you have,
Yes,
you
you have to
lose that.
repurchase the
that-
level.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And that's one of the
Ouais,
things you
quand
have to
c'est
watch out
détruit,
for
faut
with trip
racheter
mines.
à nouveau.
Like I said, they have charges, and they will just,
Après, j'ai
they
pas
will
vu, mais
go
c'est
out
riche
on
maintenant.
their own. But that's why they're so cheap. You're going to have to rebuy them once you run out of charges.
Yeah, and also I think I saw a question in chat. I missed the name, so apologies to whoever asked this. Is scrap individual or is it fire team wide?
So we've got an interesting way of doing it. So the fire team earns scrap together, but you each get to spend individually.
Oh,
so,
cool.
so you can't mess up your fire team mates by like overspending. You've got your own little stock, your own little wallet,
Yeah.
purse of
Ok.
scrap to spend.
Donc,
So you can coordinate
le-
if you want,
le
or you can
métal
just
qu'on
spend
ramasse,
how you see fit to help the
il est
team.
partagé entre
Generally,
toute la
anything you
team,
purchase is going to help.
Yeah,
mais
and someone too, like in the past, I've played,
c'est
personally, like a lot
chaque
of
membre de la
wave-based-
team a un nombre
wave-based
dédié
defense games. There
qu'il
we
peut
go.
dépenser. Pour pas
When
qu'il
it
y en
comes
a un
to
qui
the
dépense
upgrades,
tout,
I
les
imagine, like you were saying, it's
autres.
pretty logarithmic. Is there a feeling of wanting to, instead of getting, 3 level 1 turrets, 3 level 1 turrets, get 1 level 3 turret, for example? Like, is that power gain kind of the one you want to be chasing if you're pushing those higher levels?
I think it's definitely valuable to do that as long
Yeah.
as you can keep it safe.
Absolutely.
Right? It's
Yeah,
like-
fair point.
sometimes it might be better to spread out the
Yeah, that's true.
the damage, but like a lot of that's going to vary, like what augments or which enemies are coming in.
Yeah.
And you're not going to be able to control that. You're just going to have to react. Like it might be,
Yeah.
this might be an easy wave of just some thrall,
Yeah.
but it could be a bunch of exploder shanks too.
Yeah, we made sure
Tom,
to
who
do
would put a bunch of
diversity.
exploder shanks into a wave? Who on earth would possibly be responsible for that?
You can blame Noah. You can blame me for
Il faut
drop
couper la
pods.
parole, le pauvre.
Blame Noah.
I've done a lot.
Everyone who spoke
I
to
did
their
spikes
therapist
and
about Cabal drop
coil,
pods,
you
you
know.
can go ahead and charge that directly to Tom. You can follow him on Twitter right now.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Je sais pas s'ils s'entendent, parce
Noah, out
qu'ils
of,
coupent
or
la
pardon
parole
me,
deux fois.
Jerome, out of curiosity too, when it comes to kind of the seasonal story and where this fits in. So again, we're digging our heels in, fighting against the Witness, just sharpening ourselves. The next step pretty much is just to go ahead and hold out for as long as we can in preparation for that next battle, I'm assuming?
Absolutely. We're waiting for Crow to essentially build a bridge in concert with Mara, with help from Osiris and others. And so it's really the universe is on Crow's shoulders.
Yeah.
And we couldn't imagine anyone better suited
Yeah.
for the task.
Yeah.
Crow has come a long way in a short amount of time.
Yeah.
And I think
Le choix en vrai
he
est
deserves
stratégique
an
d'envoyer
opportunity
le corbeau de l'autre
to show
côté.
what
Là,
he can do.
ils sont en train
And I think he'll come
de
through
discuter
for
de
us.
ça.
Still
Mais
has
est-ce que
uttered
le
one of my favorite
choix,
lines. Yeah, we went ahead and chased
genre,
him into
ça
the
va
next,
de
into
soi,
the
à
astral
mes
plane.
yeux,
Well, I
je
just shot
pensais
at him
pas que
until
ça
he
allait
ran
être le
away, but
corbeau
your
qui allait
way's
être
better.
envoyé dans le
He's
voyageur.
earned his spot. He's ready to go, obviously. All right, Noah, where are we at? What are we looking at right now?
So right now we're looking at one of our waves. Like I was trying to say earlier, we actually have a wide diversity of waves. Like as we've seen with the Hive and the Fallen, that it's not just fighting acolytes and thralls every time. We have different compositions. So this is a wave full of exclusively ogres and cursed thrall. Cursed thrall are nice because it allows you to chunk the ogres if they're grouped up.
Yeah.
But at the same time, they're cursed thralls, and as we see, they are just booking it straight toward the ADU.
These ogres seem very dedicated to their task out of the gate, honestly. It seems like within a millisecond, they're just lighting up anything they can possibly see.
Yeah, I think they're really dedicated to the Witness, and I think they're also kind of stupid. So they're just doing what they know.
I'm not brave enough to say that to an ogre's face, but I respect you for being able to do so.
So we're seeing another bonus objective here, actually, which is there are going to be pyramid splinters that spawn. That's a great. Now, where are they?
I think there's one up behind you, Noah.
Oh, right here. Look at that. And then if you keep following it, it kind of leads you away from the space, and can't find my distance.
There we go.
We're able to get heavy ammo, which I desperately needed because my buried bloodline.
D'accord. Donc,
That's right, I never heard
il y
that.
aura
there's
des petits
tension,
trucs
right,
de
when those
pyramide
splinters
là,
lead
qui
you
vont spawn,
away
et
from
si
the
on
ADU,
les suit et qu'on les
right, you
détruit,
need
ça
to
peut
kind
spawn
of
une caisse de
split your
minéraux.
attention in two directions.
Yeah, that's the thing that we were really wanting to index on. So for these critical, not critical objectives, for these augments, they kind of incentivize players to like leave the ADU and kind of have roles. As we see, we got Splinter Mines and you have guards that are guarding them. We have Clayton and Ashley doing that for me while I defend the ADU. And that kind of means that you have less people defending. Like the wave is still coming towards you, but there's things you have to do. And those distractions, which aren't really optional, are kind of what gives you that tension and kind of allows for interesting build crafting decisions. Like that's something I kind of wanted to go into, something that excites me as somebody who's kind of seen how our seasonal meta kind of develops with things like Strand Titan and Solar over and over.
Yeah.
I'm interested in seeing if interesting things come out of like Onslaught. You're not trying to stay alive yourself. You're trying to keep this ADU alive, which is a object completely separate from you. So like is stasis going to be more useful? We're seeing Ashley use Arc. She's using Arc Souls, which has proven to be really useful
Il est en
against the
train de-
Fallen. Like is Risk Runner going to be something people want to
discuter
use?
de ce qui va
Training
peut-être
Ghoul,
être
Sunshot. Oh,
mieux
We're gonna forget
pour
that. Half, that's
défendre,
fine.
yeah.
So also too,
Every man
when,
for
when it
themselves.
comes to the build crafting element, I can
Pour
probably
défendre
imagine
le
when
milieu.
you're doing the GM difficulties, like
Et y a pas
it's
trop
not
à
just your
réfléchir, hein,
build
ça
you're
va
worried
être
about, but making sure you have that communication across
tout
your
cas,
team,
en
across
difficulté
champion
légende.
mods, across element types. Like there's probably a whole
Des
heck of a lot
ustensiles
to actually
obscurs.
make sure you're keeping track of throughout this. Like,
des arcs à radiance.
There's a lot going on in the activity from a moment-to-moment perspective. We
des
have a
chasseurs
bunch of different
abyssaux,
wave types, augments,
stasiques
different squad
et solaires.
compositions, and different bosses as we're seeing, and augments there. So really,
Et
like, build is king. Like, you're still
Tactique
shooting
abyssale
bad
aussi.
guys, using your abilities, using space
voilà,
magic,
hein.
but it's all a matter of like how you use it in each situation. Like maybe you want something more offensive when you're fighting a boss, or bring in that spark and rift. But when you're in the ADU, you might want something that'll help you hunker down.
Actually, too, no, we're on that subject of augments. Something you mentioned yesterday I thought was pretty cool were boss augments as kind of the levels continued to progress.
Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit about those?
Pour une première
So
réaction,
we just
je
did
suis
an
un peu
augment just
déçu
now
parce
that
que
had
je m'attendais
capture
vraiment pas à
points
ce
spawn
genre
in
de
the
truc.
arena.
Je
Oh, we have
pensais
one
qu'il allait y
here.
avoir
And what that does
des
is that
trailers ou
calls
quoi.
in turrets that will eventually come and help us out. If we call both of them, they'll all activate, and that serves to kind of get some heat off of you.
Yeah.
And just
C'est peut-être un
overall
peu
kind of
chiant
help.
de
Like,
regarder ça pendant
these are level 3 turrets. You see them in blue. They're
Une heure.
looking really nice and
et
spiffy.
de m'entendre parler en plus super fort.
And
mais
again,
j'ai
you
pas
were saying
mon
at level
casque
3,
et
the
c'est
fire
le-
rate
le
also
micro
increases
qui
as
est
it
défait.
Fire rate, health, and damage increases
It's not
for
bad to
them.
have.
But they cost 6,000 scraps, so you're going to need to save up a lot.
Okay.
I think it's 12,000 scrap altogether for like going from level 1.
Can you just roll that leftover Shrieker Eye into some enemies, maybe just for the? Oh, it fell off.
Where'd it
Never
go?
mind. All right.
Go full.
Yep. No.
The void calls.
All right. So what level are we on now? Out of
was-
curiosity,
we're on
Was
wave 20.
Was that 20? Okay, cool, awesome.
Il
Man, this
n'ouvre
is
pas le
going well,
coffre pour
honestly.
pas montrer le loot, je crois.
Yeah, I will say, especially after yesterday, we learned that Noah is one of the most dangerous to ever wield the two thumbsticks out there. To all the PvP streamers as well, go ahead and challenge him openly on the internet.
Hey, I go flawless. Check my KD.
Yeah, that's right.
I thought you were the gilded one.
Well, I don't want to brag, but as a 4-time gilded flawless, I mean, I'll let you guys brag for that.
Hey, I'm a brag too. I got Riven's Bane back in Forsaken. Petrol's run, that was tough. All my Riven's Banes out there, we know what's up.
Oh.
And Shadows.
Yeah.
Y'all got it.
There's a chapter of everyone's dream journal dedicated to that particular time in their lives, obviously. Drop the Bungie ID, they're saying. Perhaps I'll leave that up to him. That is his.
Oh, I can do it. No, I'll do it. Check my rave report. Check my dungeon. Hey, I'm there, bro.
Noah is ready, honestly. He's prepared for this moment. Let's see here.
So new ADU, new location.
Yep.
Yes, well, that's something I neglected to mention. So every time you do a boss, you will actually change locations. And let me just buy something real quick because I have money. But the defenses you pick, like that you placed before in your previous locations, those will still be active. So that means that you building up your defenses over time. You obviously can't upgrade these since they're not at the location you're on, but they will help you when the waves get harder. So you having a level 3 turret or level 3 decoy somewhere, that will actually help you out, and you'll be able to take aggro from the waves. Like we see, hey, the turret right there doing damage to the knights. That it all kind of helps that feeling of feeling like you're the vanguard and
Il y a
the
un mec
last
à
city,
sa
like
gauche.
you're helping to defend them. He's in
Qui
places
tire
that's
avec
permanent
une,
and not just temporary.
PM
You're
abyssal.
really digging the trenches and
fait
setting
le même
yourself
bruit
in.
que
Okay, good.
Funnel
We'll put
Web.
that on the list of things that
fait
chat
le même bruit
didn't
que la
see.
recluse.
We get a veto. That's the
Donc,
one that
est-ce
everyone
que
gets
c'est
to
la recluse
forget.
qui l'a
Sorry,
sur
chat,
lui?
but that didn't just happen.
Everyone makes mistakes.
Pareil.
Also, too, actually,
L'autre
J.R.
gars, là.
Bizzle in
Ah
chat
non, j'ai
asks,
beaucoup
are
de
the rewards going to be tied to the wave you get too? Now, I know Noah kind of mentioned
L'autre
this a
gars
little
avec
bit
lui,
when he was
normalement,
referencing the coil earlier,
trois.
but obviously there's a between the level 10, or pardon me, the 10
Il arrive
wave
pas à voir.
and the 50 wave versions. What's the reward story for each one?
So in all the activities, every time you
Le
beat
lance-roquette du
10
raid,
waves and you beat the boss, you'll get a
de
chest.
Camus.
You'll get rewards.
Every 10
Léviathan.
waves.
Yep.
You get, okay.
And
crois que
then
c'est ça, mais
in
j'arrive pas trop bien à voir.
the challenge mode, there's a normal and the hard version of those. In the normal version, you get a normal chest all the way until the last wave. You can beat the final wave.
Yeah.
You'll get double rewards.
Oh, okay.
And then if you play the hard mode,
Yeah.
you get additional rewards in all the waves.
Excellent. Okay.
And so like. There's some little surprises there too we might have along the way at the end as well, just if you're lucky.
Excellent. Yeah, for the ones that are really going to go ahead and try it a few times out, maybe there's an additional variable thrown in there from time to time. Excellent. Yeah. Also, too, actually, Kurt Jones, 29, asks, how do revives work in this activity, both between normal and legend?
So that's actually a great question. As we see now, there is not. Oh my good lord! Wait, give me a second. Give me a second.
What a great time to think critically. The Tormentor on your doorstep.
I can answer that for Noah. Noah, take down the Tormentor. The way
Oh,
that revives work is like in the first 2 sets,
Yeah.
darkness is off. But when we get to the 3rd set, we
Yeah.
turn darkness on.
And
so
extinguish.
if you all go down, or the ADU goes down, the activity's over.
That's it. Okay.
Yeah.
So you just take the rewards you got for the 2
And in
bosses
Legend,
you got?
that's on by default.
Yeah, you don't lose any rewards. Every set you complete, you'll get rewards.
Yeah.
But if you're halfway through a set and you fail,
Yeah.
that's it.
That's it. Just take your lunchbox and go home.
Die.
Yeah, well, you can hop right back in the playlist, or
That's
hop right back in with your friends and
Yeah.
try again.
Which is what I'm going to do, frankly.
Yeah.
Honestly, like when this was getting developed behind the scenes here, and we were kind of getting a sense of what Into the Light was going to be. I got to tell you, like just the I don't know, the ability to just go ahead and keep diving back in, testing new builds. I'm sure I'm not the only one who has every single one of their loadout slots filled with some hyper-specific loadout that I'm deeply in love with in its own way. And so I feel like this is the exact right time to go ahead and just continue diving in and just bolstering those loadouts to begin with the Brave Arsenal, which again we'll be talking about next week. Don't you worry. But also too is just get a chance to go ahead and really see how they can thrive in environments just outside of even as difficult as GMs can be. Find something that really pushes it beyond that standard level that we're used to.
Yeah, and you're going to need to be ready for a lot. We're trying to throw a lot of variety at you, right? There's
Yeah.
the 2 combatant factions that you're going to be facing in the Fallen Hive that can randomly be in there when you start the mission. There's the multiple defensive locations, and there's like the progression of the waves, there's augments, all these things are kind of working together in concert to like test your ability to coordinate as a team and in your build game too.
Excellent. Also, too, actually, Optimal Pickle in chat, wonderful name, I might add, is also curious. I know we just talked about scrap gathering, obviously, and how everyone kind of gets their own purse. Are you able to gift that scrap to other people? Or you just get your own purse as a result of
You just get your own
Gift
perk.
the scrap,
Yeah.
but you can both, like if someone places something else, you could upgrade it.
Oh, okay.
You can coordinate.
Got it.
Your spend.
They can drop the level 2, you can upgrade, or they can drop the level 1, you can upgrade it to level 2.
Yep.
Nice. Very good. All right, that communication is going to be.
Yeah, we wanted to keep it simple and fast. Like we didn't want to have we did a lot of work to make sure it was as streamlined as it could be because currency can get complicated if
Sure.
you're not careful about it.
in the
Manger.
heat of battle, honestly, yeah, it's like sweep
Super
them out, whatever.
important.
Yeah.
Open their wallet and be like, you got a
À dire,
5?
il y a
Exactly,
réaction
yeah.
en fait.
Can
Parce
you
que
break 3,000 scrap?
c'est juste le même gameplay en boucle là.
That's right. Just a little bit. It's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ghost will help you out with that. Let's see.
We're getting up there in the waves, and they're getting a little bit more beefy.
Yeah, you guys are murdering your way through. This is going great.
Another thing I really appreciate about Onslaught, other than like the fact you can get lost in it, is like
Yeah.
this is just going to be a great place to go.
Yeah.
And just like if you want to do bounties, if you want to do triumphs, you've got
Yeah.
things you want to level up, catalysts, like
Oh, man.
just like hop in Onslaught and chill.
Yeah.
You'll be able to really tear through a lot of enemies and like.
Hear that, everyone? You can leave the opening gates of Grasp of Avarice, finally.
Please.
or Shirochi, you don't have to farm there
anymore.
anymore. Don't have to input that wish.
Yeah, and some waves are really like hard, and other waves like if you've got a bunch of guys coming down a hallway, and you
Yeah.
unload your supers, unload your ammo, and it feels awesome.
Yeah.
Really like have that peak power fantasy.
Yeah, it's also too. No, you're getting some cred in chat for your ability to dispatch champions. I don't know why people are asking about a Bungie dev fighting champion mobs. I don't know if that's a reference to something, but you'll have to remind us in chat. I don't know if I recall that moment necessarily.
Les mecs dans le chat sont en train de faire référence
Oh,
à
I know what they're talking
Joe
about.
Blackburn.
I'm telling you, I'm that guy. I'll drop the Bungie app. I don't care, man.
La Joe Blackburn qui est en train de se fight
Check me out.
contre
I
le
believe you,
mutant
I
honestly.
envy that level of
surchargé dans
confidence.
le
Yeah,
secteur
I'd be
oublié
dead. I
là.
hide in the
Ils
background.
sont en
I
train de se
have
foutre
my,
de
my
sa
name
gueule.
in game is just Andy, and
Et
I
là, les
hide amongst
développeurs qui
the
présentent, ils
field of
sont
other
pas au courant.
Andys with all of our little hash numbers at the end of our name, honestly. Though if you see the one with the dead man's tail, you know that's me for certain.
Great weapon. One of my favorites, honestly.
It's so good.
It's so stylish.
It's just like my favorite gun in any video game ever, honestly. It's really, really good. Though then again, we get along pretty darn well. Okay, so we're back on the pyramid ship.
Yes,
Also,
every 6 waves, actually, you're going to...
6, thank
well,
you.
on the 6th wave of each thing, so 6, 16, 26, 36, etc.
Okay.
You will take the fight to the witness and have a cool little encounter that's, it feels like an action
Toutes les-
movie.
Yeah.
You and your team get to run
Genre, nous,
down
la
against
6e manche,
waves.
la
against
16e, la
waves of combatants,
26e,
in this
etc.
hallway, and
On
then
sera
there's an
sur le vaisseau
invincible
pyramide.
warden at the end, and the only way to dispatch him and move on is you have to dunk in the wrist.
Palate cleanse.
Oh, and he pushed me.
Little breather.
Yeah, absolutely.
Get all the waves.
Also, too, actually, Jerome, from a lore standpoint, from a mechanic standpoint, obviously this helps, make sure that we're pushing forward in the activity and we've got an appropriate challenge. But why are the Guardians able to go ahead and even head back into these pyramid ships to go
It
ahead?
took us a long time to gain that power.
Yeah.
And now it's sort of permeable. It can go both ways,
Ouais,
right?
je regarde
The
réactions
witness
des gros
forces are
youtubeurs comme
much
Asticross.
more able to access
Parce
our
que
space, as we can see, right? They're in the
Ils ont
middle
dû
of
être très déçus
Midtown. But we are also
de
able
pas
to
pouvoir
access
aller
their
vraiment dans la dernière
space
cité.
more.
Yeah.
So it's a double-edged sword,
Yeah.
so to speak.
They opened that door. Now they can't take
That's
it back.
right,
The
yeah.
Guardians are going to be in there emoting and meddling and having a grand old time.
Je suppose que le prochain stream,
Si,
du coup, ce
there
sera
we
sur
go.
le loot. Putain, mais.
Let's go ahead and flex your raid emotes. It's all right. Let's get it
Et
out of the way.
Le,
I say that bitterly jealous because I don't have it.
le live encore après, ce sera sur la nouvelle tour, je pense.
Took the wave 27 out. All right.
Ooh.
Oh, my lord.
Yeah, this is starting to get spicy out here.
All right. Let's lock in, guys.
Sorry, we're just making it more theatrical.
Yeah, we totally aren't trying at all. It's super easy.
I just know I'm going to turn a corner and there's going to be the cursed thrall, like, right there. You see it.
Ah, oula.
Oh. All right.
I got alt-tabbed a little bit.
Oh, I'll tab.
All tapped? Okay, all right.
technical
I was about to say, I was
difficulties
about
Oh, I
to
got
say-
alt-tabbed again.
I was like,
Is
is
that
that
what
turns
they're
out?
seeing
Yep,
behind the
everyone.
screen?
Yep. Also, too,
we
just
go.
for everyone's awareness, too, we're here live in the dev environment. So what you're seeing is obviously a quick peek behind the scenes. But yeah, we're obviously working off of a dev build right now
Ça, on a plein qui vont aller regarder les
Nice.
fichiers.
and doing the finisher appropriately on the thralls.
My favorite is the quick draw gunslinger one.
Yeah.
Hunter, I actually just bought it. I was like, I need it.
The solar one that kind of does like
Yeah.
the twirl around his finger. Oh yeah.
I was like, I need that. So I'll give up anything.
Ah, mais
I
putain,
got the,
moi, c'est
I
maintenant
think it
qu'ils
was,
sortent tous des
was
vidéos.
it Guardian Games last year where you got the chair to go ahead and just send them flying at 1,000 miles an hour.
It's hard to beat
Never
the chair.
gets old. Yeah, absolutely never gets old.
It looks like Ashley and Clayton are just carrying me right now. They're going crazy.
I mean, it is their job to be good.
I mean,
are
they've been
rushing
doing this
it,
for
yeah.
months. They don't really have the technically the world's first, but
Yeah.
Yeah, we're the
That's right, yeah. In our hearts.
no, it really that's going to be for players, right? We want
Yeah, certainly.
all of you to be able to hop in this again. Yeah, this is available for all players.
Yeah.
which is also really exciting. It's kind of like a big gift from all of us here
My
at Bungie
God.
to all of you out there, all of our guardians, our community.
Yeah.
So, thank
Oh,
you.
man.
We're excited to be able to get you all buffed to take on the witness.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's not going to be easy, obviously. Just another
You have to work.
opportunity to equip everyone, obviously.
Something I wanted to mention, just to get a little peek behind the curtain when it comes to our friend Sweeperbot here, is he used to be the best decoy in the game, better than all his other tiered variants, because there was a bug where only the broom would take any damage, and as we see, he's really skinny, so he was basically nigh untouchable.
Functionally immortal,
no.
Sweeperbot.
Oh my God.
Must be nice, obviously, just to have your Horcrux or whatever it is, right? But it's just his broom this time, as it would turn out.
We fixed it though.
Yeah, it's fair. All right.
Yeah.
It'll live on, again, another thing that lives on strictly in our hearts.
Yes.
Also, too, out of curiosity, Vadar477 in chat asks, will there be, if you have just 2 people on your fire team and you want to go in solo, is there a private mode you can dive into this with?
I believe if you hop into higher difficulties, you can do
Yeah,
that.
excellent.
Yeah.
Very cool. All right. So everyone out there that wants to really challenge themselves, maybe attempt to solo all 50 waves? Yeah. I think our running theory is that it's impossible.
I think it's not possible. That's my charge to the community. Can you beat Legend solo by your Obviously, that's what solo means, but can you be legend on solo?
Someone's got to do it.
If my teammate on the social media team, Mitch, is out there watching while on vacation, so don't you dare be working, I think he's got that challenge cut out for himself as well.
Hey, I've learned not to underestimate the Destiny community at all. Especially like in Mission Whetstone, I thought it would take a lot longer for people to do that. That was quick.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, we underestimate the Guardians much as the same as the Witness at our own peril. So obviously, none of us want to do that. If anything, I'm just excited to go ahead and see this get in players' hands on April 9th.
Yeah, of course. I'm so excited to see like what strategies people come up with. As we see, we have another augment here where you are killing Spark Hoarders to spawn a Spark, and when you dunk the Rift, it actually does a chunk of damage to the boss, which if you're looking at the health bar at the bottom, you'll see it does a decent amount. So when you get to bosses that are a little chunkier, these are ways to do extra damage to them.
Oh, jeez, yeah, okay.
Par contre, c'est cool parce que les boss, ils ont tous une mécanique différente.
I am also, I'll say it again, I'm so bitterly jealous I don't have buried bloodline right now. Like, you're making it look so good.
I was going to have to carry you.
It's good. It's a good gun. Especially if you're on other subclasses. It's just free Devour. Plus the Catalyst, you get Devour and Weaken pretty much on demand by using it.
It's also, too, maybe a small thing, but my personal favorite, just if I had to pick a champion mod, and I know it doesn't work like that, but I do have to give credit to Anti-Barrier, because it's every single barrier. It doesn't matter if it's a Hive Knight shield, doesn't matter if a Taken Vandal goes ahead and puts their shield up, or if a Hobgoblin goes ahead and cloisters up. Like, it's just like, I'm sorry, I'm just going to keep shooting you right in the face. This is not how this works for you.
Okay. No!
What? All right, we're out of stream veto moments, obviously. No, I'm sorry, but this shame you have to live with.
That didn't happen.
Are you sure you want to hand out your Bungie ID still?
Yeah, I'll do it.
Okay,
all
right.
I don't back down.
I'll leave it to you on Twitter. That's fine.
I'll get cooked. It's fine.
Again, at our own peril, we
Ah,
underestimate.
il est un peu particulier ce
So
stream parce que
this
je
is the
me
final
m'attendais
boss
vraiment pas à me
encounter in the
retrouver avec ces
pyramid for this
personnages. Je
particular
pensais qu'on
wave.
allait
Yeah,
revoir
so
des
it's
gens
particular
qu'on
wave. I think
trouve
we're on wave 30.
habituellement dans les
which means
lives
we're on
ou dans les
last,
présentations de DLC.
Our last wave, which is
Pas du
you
tout.
take the fight to the boss.
So it's
Again.
definitely a little bit beefier than the last two bosses.
Yeah.
But we're going to
victory
dunk
laps.
and
This is-
kill it in
this is
one
more of a
shot.
trial.
Here we go.
There we go.
So, and also too is that dunking mechanic that does extra damage to the boss. That's just is that like a modifier that kind of gets randomly added with each particular boss?
Il a
That's
encore
like
eu
one of
un
those
jury
augments,
pour
Awesome.
lui.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So there's no guarantee you're going to get that one necessarily.
Nope.
Even better. Excellent. All right.
Guys, let's do the emote. No!
All right, let's keep running more waves. Also, too, actually, I saw a question pop up in chat. Again, I apologize. I missed the name. Twitch chat is moving fast, but thank you to all you Guardians for joining us. Is there any kind of a timer present in this activity, or do you just get to dive in and take your time?
The only timer is actually present in the purchase phase. We want to kind of keep that fast-paced flow going.
Yeah.
But otherwise, we just have the timer ticking up to see how long your session has been. But yeah, there's no timer. We're not counting down like 10 minutes to beat a whole wave or something.
The only real fail condition is the fire team alive and is ADU still standing.
Got it. Okay. And again, once the ADU is gone, that's it.
That's it.
Okay. You lose on wave one somehow. That's it.
Generally,
Okay.
we want to be pretty clear about our failure conditions. We don't want to stack.
Yeah.
A bunch of like oh, you have to do.
That's fair. There's like A and B and a C, nothing like that. Okay. And again, you're only defending its one ADU that kind of will transition.
Only the current ADU. It will move with you.
Got it. Okay, thank you. That's perfect. Also, to chat, I see you asking for information on the loot to show us what weapons are on the way. Tune in next week. We'll have plenty for you. I can promise you that.
Je suis sûr ils
Yeah,
ont remis
Shax
les armes
is,
du Léviathan, les armes de leur
If you go
sombre.
into the lore, Shax is working with some
Comme
folks, some
Red,
characters from the
Red
past,
Couronne des
right,
Raisins,
and
je
also
reste comme
opening up
malheur,
his
peut-être.
private reserve for our use.
Et
So,
recluse.
So
comme ça.
is this something Shax has been sitting on for a while, or has he been working on this behind the scenes?
well, there've been some weapons
Je
that have been frowned upon in the Crucible.
Yeah.
And but now's the time to bring those out.
Yeah.
Anything
Vanguard
that-
outlawing stuff is not something we have time for at this point.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And if it's dangerous, now's the time to bust it out.
All the better. Obviously.
High
Yeah.
risk, high reward. That's how I see it.
Ok, voilà,
And
ils sont
we,
en
if
train de parler
anything, are
de-
facing
c'est
down
bon.
our biggest risk in the
Recluse
witness so
sommet.
far, obviously. So making sure
Oubliez
that
ça,
Shax
reviens.
goes ahead and opens those coffers. Nothing short of generous, I'll say. Have you improved ability regeneration right now, or are you just that good? No.
That's what, I feel like you're
say
not
you're that-
hearing me. I'm that guy.
You have mentioned that once or
Noah
twice,
plays a
actually. I don't know.
Oh, ça me fait un
No,
peu peur
maybe
là qu'ils
plays
sont en
an
mode.
unhealthy amount of Destiny.
Sometimes I will.
Il lui dit
Not
ouais,
even
t'as
sometimes.
amélioré
Oftentimes I get
la
off
régénération
work
des
and immediately
habilités,
I'm like,
enfin, des
okay.
compétences.
I think there was
That was on there.
Noah, by the way, and I'm not sure if you saw that.
Genre en mode,
That's,
But I immediately
Ouais,
get on and play. I
peut-être
do
une
raids
nef.
and dungeons. I mean, I've been doing a lot of coil recently.
yeah,
My
my
Rosaraga.
My dad and I end up playing this game a lot, and so basically every single day after work, it's just like us texting each other, being like, "Hey, so when are you hopping on? When are you done with dinner?"
That's fun.
I imagine we'll probably more so do the easy modes, but I've got my Nightfall crew I'm sure I could dive in here with. Although honestly, I think at this point he's more loot paid, my dad, than any of us, so I think he'd have no problem diving in here.
That's awesome to hear. That's what Destiny is all about, right?
Yeah, it's
Bringing
a lot of
people
fun.
together.
Yeah. All right, things getting pretty intense. Let's see. Out of curiosity as well, I'm not sure if we can mention this one, but Tom, is there a light level increase with Into the Light, or is this still at 1830? I believe it is.
It is at the current power.
Current power? Cool.
Yep.
All right, that hasn't changed. Thank you, Nikki Knight, for that question as well.
Oh, it's time. I can make
Is it time?
a super. Okay, no. I don't have enough for that. Nice.
How much scrap you sitting on right now?
I was on 5,000.
Okay.
Oh, I was too late.
Wrapped for cash.
Scrap
I wasn't
for
playing
cash.
that. You guys on the
Narrative
team,
department.
Honestly, that is, I want to say obnoxiously good. It's always like, man,
We appreciate that.
You guys are just stealing our job. One
Bon,
of our
là, par
tweets.
contre, je pense qu'ils l'ont fait en normal l'activité. Et en légende, je pense que ça sera un peu plus dur. Mais je suis même presque dégoûté qu'il n'en ait pas eu dans Master.
Remaining intense, and again, we're still fighting the Hive. We were fighting the Fallen earlier,
Oh my, please.
so there will be multiple sets of the Witnesses armies going ahead and chasing us down in this activity. Oh dear.
Usually it's
I
just
should've
one
super-
per run.
Right, yeah. For the sake of the developer
yep.
tools, we went ahead and just swapped that over, just so
Yep.
folks can get a look.
Ouais,
You
et
know
là, il y
it's
a
getting
l'apparition
harder when
limitée.
Noah stops flexing.
I know, right? Yeah.
He's actually
Okay,
having
there's a lot going on, you know?
There is.
Like,
Fairness. And I think also too, this is something we sort of touched on yesterday when we were doing our initial playthroughs, but especially when you get to these higher levels and it's not just kind of the proverbial, comparatively speaking, walk in the park that the first few are, like you really got to keep your comms crisp with your team. You got to make sure that you're really aligning, not even necessarily your champion mods, but maybe sending your scrap to one part to really go ahead and stymie the bad guys there so you can focus your attention, your abilities, your supers on another lane. Actually also too to that end, obviously the pyramids have been doing some terraforming, but Tom, when you guys were building that activity, how are you guys going about even changing these maps? It looks like you guys have changed the architecture in some pretty significant ways.
Yeah, so when we looked at these maps,
Ah,
we
il a
want to
dit,
have like a bunch of
these
distinct
maps,
lanes for the
en
enemies
gros,
to kind of like
genre,
attack you
ces
from.
maps,
They give
donc
you
il y en
like
aura
these
plusieurs.
fronts that you have to divide your
Mais je
attention.
pense que ce sera
Yeah,
que des maps
across the team.
PVP.
So you really have to be like, oh, they're coming from the left, they're coming from the right. You take this
Yeah.
way, I take that way.
Yeah.
And like a lot of times in these maps, they're great for PvP.
Yeah.
But they didn't have the lanes we needed, and the artists and the designers working together like, oh, like what if like the pyramids
Yeah.
just like evaporated this building right here.
Yeah.
And
You guys are like, great, let's do it.
yeah, no,
Yeah.
and that really, so we had to open up some channels in here, and like that, we got the great, fictional context where we can be like, no, it's
Yeah.
Witnesses Forces, it's not,
Yeah.
it's not Todd.
Yeah, sure. All right, and also too, I'm getting some word from the Traveler in the Sky. No, I hate to break it to you, but we have come to the end of our gameplay segment. You must return from your throne world.
I think I performed pretty well. Things considered.
Ah,
I'll
il
be the
montre
first
pas
to agree
la
with you,
suite.
especially because I
Il y a
don't want to have to
peut-être
face you
d'autres
down
trucs,
in
du
this
coup,
activity.
que-
I want your help, honestly. When it
Yeah,
comes
we'll just
down to it.
1v1 in
Yeah.
Crucible sometime.
Yeah, and also too is I think I think we can say that, but this is going to happen. We maybe won't say where, but this isn't the only location that players are going to have
Yeah,
Onslaught
there's
available
more.
to them. Yeah, there will be more than that, obviously. Noah, welcome back from the Throne World. It's good to see you.
I got a lot of tithes. You know, I feel like Eris and I are comparable right now.
So you're going to turn into a hive? Never mind. I don't want to attempt turning into a hive god. That's fine. We'll leave that for your
That's
own
the next
adventures.
expansion.
Obviously, that's true. Yeah, we'll see. But no, Noah, thank you very much for taking us through that.
thanks
and
for having
of
me.
course, for everyone here in Twitch chat, thank you for joining us. But before we go ahead and head on out, we obviously, this is just kind of the first look at what's to come in Destiny 2 Into the Light. Again, as a reminder, we're going to be doing 3 streams showing up all of this content that's going to be coming out, available to all players. And of course, before we go ahead and head off, Tom, you guys have all worked so heavily on this activity. Tom, we'll start with you. When Onslaught releases, when it gets in players' hands on April 9th, what are you most looking forward to?
I really want to see what players do with the defenses. I want to see
Yeah.
what their strategies are. I know Noah's got his strategies. I've got mine. Maybe mine are a little less developed than his. And just to be able to see. Also, it's a great time to get back in and play. It's going to be a great time to play Destiny. It's going to be like new activities, tons of rewards. It's going to be fun. I'm going to be hopping in with me and my sons.
Yeah, that's going to be awesome. Yeah. Jerome, as someone who's gone ahead and helped craft this story, to bring this to life, obviously, to make sure it fits into the Destiny universe so well, what are you most looking forward to when this releases on April 9th?
First of all, people getting absolutely hyped out of their minds for the final shape, and I want to see what builds arise out of this. It's a kind of a different strategic calculus than we've seen before, so I want to see how the players innovate and deal with this new challenge.
Strategic calculus. I'm going to file that one away. That's the narrative team, everyone. Geez, just making us all look bad. And of course, Noah, you've helped brick by brick put this together, this brand new activity. As someone who's obviously spent a ton of time playing it in addition to developing it, when it gets out into the wild, when you've got the chance to play it with your friends, what are you most looking forward to?
I'm looking forward to just getting my reps in, seeing how far we can get, especially on Legend, get extra rewards, have an extra difficulty, just have fun with friends and trying to see, like Jerome was saying, like what builds arise, like what cool stories come out of playing things like this. Like we saw, you can have a big Tormentor show up and like all these different things, those little emergent moments are what really makes Onslaught special at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And I'm really proud of what the team and everyone's done. Like I'm a very small part of a larger team. Teams are way better than heroes.
Yeah.
And
You're here.
Everyone has done such a great job building Onslaught and just curating stuff for Into the Light. I'm so excited for what's going to show up in these next live streams.
Awesome. Yeah, and thank you guys all three for being here today to represent the team and help us kind of, show this first glimpse at Into the Light to all the players out there. Obviously, it's pretty great to have you guys here, bright and early in the morning.
Thank you for having us.
Absolutely. Yep. All right, everyone. Well, I believe that's it from us here at Bungie HQ. As a quick reminder, again, we'll be back next week at the same Bungie time, same Bungie place to show you some even more content about Into the Light, including some returning Guardian favorite weapons, which you may have gotten a glimpse of today, a brand new look at an all-new social space as well that you can take your fire team down to, and even more information about upcoming rewards. Before we obviously send it off, I want to again thank our guests here for joining us today, to the entire Destiny development team who behind the scenes right now is working on this content, bringing it to life for all of us. Thank you all so much for your hard work. To Clayton and Ashley, our play testers in the back who went ahead and helped fill out the fire team. Getting some waves, there we go. Thank you very much. To the amazing team of producers who are here putting on the show, thank you all so much. Genuinely, it's amazing to have all of your assistants. They have the distinct difficulty of making me look good on camera, so believe me, their work is cut out for them. And to our team of moderators in chat, you're the real heroes. Thank you so much for your time. But in the meantime, again, reminder, we'll be back next week at the same time and place to show you even more content. But until then, take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and we'll see y'all Starside.
C'était bien. L'activité, je pense qu'elle va être drôle, elle va me plaire. À faire en solo, ça doit être vite répétitif, mais à faire avec ses potes, je pense que ça va être très, très amusant. C'est un peu dommage que ça soit... Bon, après, on n'a plus qu'une map, donc on verra bien si ça donne plus tard. Mais c'est un peu dommage que là, en tout cas, ça soit une reprise de map PVP. J'ai hâte de voir la semaine prochaine pour les armes, même si je pense qu'on a tous déjà une petite idée de ce qui va revenir. Et après, bon, c'est du contenu gratuit, donc fallait pas non plus s'attendre à un DLC. Je trouve que c'est vraiment plutôt bien ce qu'ils ont fait, plutôt pas mal. C'est vraiment une activité pour avoir des armes, pour après aller dans The Final Shape. La musique est forte. J'attends que ça se finisse. Voilà. Et donc je pense que ça va être vraiment quand même beaucoup de farm. On verra, mais ça va. Je suis pas hype de fou pour l'instant. J'attends de voir la semaine prochaine et la semaine encore après. Mais en tout cas, je sais que c'est une activité qui va me plaire et que ça sera. Ça, je n'en ai rien à foutre. Hop. Je sais que c'est une activité qui va me plaire et qui sera très drôle à faire à plusieurs. Donc voilà. Si vous avez aimé cette vidéo, aimez-la, abonnez-vous parce que je suis très beau gosse, je le répète quand je fais des vidéos comme ça, je suis très beau gosse et rien que ça devrait vous faire vous abonner. Je suis désolé aussi du coup pour la qualité de la vidéo, c'est un peu exceptionnel là. Mais sinon voilà, si vous avez aimé, abonnez-vous et on se retrouvera dans de prochaines vidéos, notamment pour découvrir tout le contenu le 9 avril.